Hello, I'm Don Gillespie, President and CEO of Alternate Energy Holdings. Alternate Energy Holdings' mission is to help address the national energy shortfall and provide exceptional value for stakeholders through the acquisition and optimization of underperforming, environmentally friendly power sources in deregulated areas, as well as through the construction of new generation, thereby effectively stimulating the U.S. energy industry with increased capacity. Also, to reduce energy demand through the application of solar, wind, and other green technologies for homes, businesses, and transportation.
State-of-the-art technologies, innovative business strategies, behind the scenes, insights from cutting-edge users around the globe on World Business Review.
Welcome to World Business Review. I'm Norman Schwarzkopf. Our country's continued dependence on foreign energy sources and the rising debate over global warming has created the need for a change. Don Gillespie, President and CEO of Alternate Energy Holdings, is here to discuss some much-needed solutions. Welcome, Don.
General, it's a pleasure to be here today.
And also joining us in our studio is correspondent Jordan Goodman. Jordan, you're always welcome.
Nice to be with you, General.
Don, why is it so important for the United States to be less dependent on foreign sources of energy?
Well, I think most people probably are aware we're importing quite a bit of energy, but when you look at the facts, they're pretty overwhelming. 66% of our oil is imported, 20% of our natural gas, both in the form of pipeline and from Canada and Mexico, as well as liquid natural gas. We're also importing almost 20% of our gasoline now, which is very hard to believe, but we're not building any refineries. So gasoline's coming in big tankers, and that's pretty exciting in the ports, as you can imagine. We're also importing ethanol, one of our newer green energy sources, because we don't have enough of that produced yet. And then the one probably the most surprising to people is electricity. We're actually importing some electricity from both Canada and Mexico, probably more from Canada. And when you look at the concerns, the two big key concerns with that is first terrorism. We're concerned about a lot of this money going back to the oil companies, particularly in the Middle East, also in Africa, and to a lesser degree in South America. We believe are being funneled into the terrorist activities. So we're actually sending money that will come back, or is coming back to harm us, as we saw on 9/11. Also, I think the other big impact we're concerned about is the economy. No modern economy has boomed and prospered without cheap, abundant energy. This economy, for example, if you look at China today, one of the most booming economies in the world, they're building one coal plant a week, one nuclear plant a month. They're out drilling for oil in the oceans. Actually, off the coast of Florida, they're drilling for oil right now. So what we see the country needing to have low-cost energy to keep our economy rolling.
Don, how is Alternate Energy Holdings going to help us become more energy self-sufficient?
Well, one of the things we want to do is we want to build a energy complex, as we call it, and it will be a nuclear power plant, a large nuclear power plant, and we will use the waste heat from that plant, which currently is being put into the atmosphere for nuclear plants around the world, and we will use that waste heat to produce both ethanol and methane from the agricultural crops that are grown in the region.
For more, let's go to this World Business Review field report.
With a focus on the purchase, optimization, and construction of green energy sources, primarily nuclear power plants, Alternate Energy Holdings Incorporated is seeking to evolve with the growing needs of the energy market.
Well, our electrical costs here is our single biggest cost. We use about $500,000 a year in electricity just to pump the water to irrigate our crops here. And so the future of energy production is very concerning to us. If we have to rely on wind or solar or natural gas to produce electricity, we're talking about a big expense in perhaps pricing us out of making a living here farming.
Recently published reports have highlighted the very serious threats global warming poses to the planet's future. Environmentalists and politicians worldwide are now supporting nuclear energy as the future of green energy production.
I see no problem whatsoever with nuclear energy. I think the timing is right for that type of energy. Economically, the tribe has been impacted with this hydroelectric dams in that we've completely lost our fisheries. So I think this is going to be a step in the right direction.
For World Business Review, I'm Jamie Mahler reporting.
Don, what prompted you to start Alternate Energy Holdings?
Well, I was retired general after about 40 years in the energy industry, and I saw the situation with terrorism, the high cost of energy, and felt that I had the skills to help do something about that. So I came out of retirement. I got some friends of mine who were similarly retired. In fact, I'm the youngest, so they gave me the job as CEO. They're on my board, and we were motivated to start this company to really help address that problem, try to give people low-cost energy and get us a little more energy independent in this country.
Now, I understand that none of your senior management team makes a salary.
Yeah,
Why is that?
That's an interesting point. When I asked them to help, I said, I can't afford to pay the salaries you guys used to make when you were working full-time, so I said, I can give you a little stock in the company because we're going to take it public, but I'll have to ask you to give me a hand here. And they all readily agreed to the situation and wanted to help with it, and so I'm really honored to have men with that background and helping me out.
That's terrific.
Don, America hasn't built a nuclear plant in over 30 years. I guess 3 Mile Island kind of scared people off. But I hear you're planning to change that. Tell me about it a little bit.
Yes, one of the things we want to do is build a nuke plant, particularly in Idaho. And we believe that we can get local approval to do that and produce the power, electricity there. We can power all households in that state. We can reduce all their carbon load right now from their coal plants and their natural gas plants. So the state is only pretty much producing no CO2 from electricity production. And we can do this as well as produce ethanol, which will help lower the cost of their fuel, and methane, which will also contribute to the natural gas use in the state.
Well, for all of that, what do you see in the future?
Well, the future, I think, holds quite a bright promise for alternate energy. We have a lot of people who invested money in energy now. In fact, there's a lot of money invested in oil companies, but I see there's a transition going on. We have been a carbon-based energy society now for forever, really, ever since we got started as an industrial nation. I think that's in transition. I think if you look at cars as an example, we've run with gasoline, carbon-based. Now we see hybrid cars where there's a cross between batteries and gasoline and some ethanol mixed in. And then now we see some electric cars coming and very close to breakthrough in that. And I think we're making the transition away from the carbon-based society to what I call a green or alternate energy society, which makes for a cleaner environment. And I think eventually it'll make for cheaper power as we advance these technologies.
Well, thank you very much for being here with us today and discussing this very important question.
Thank you very much, General.
Jordan, as always, thank you for being here. You always add so much to the conversation.
Thanks so much, General. Great to be here.
And thank you for watching. Until next time, for World Business Review, I'm Norman Schwarzkopf.